battle group assembled. Not too bad.
Man, it's hot. It's hot out here, man. I love it. Deployed with NATO in the French Foreign Legion. How did that look? Well, let's talk about where it was. Estonia, on the Russian border, the most far northeast corner of Europe, mainland Europe. And it was pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting because it was with the Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group. Now, there was a few Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Groups. Still is. Poland, Lithuania, Estonia. And they were run by, each country had kind of controlled by one larger entity. I believe in Poland, it was the United States. There's one in Germany also. Lithuania was run by somebody else, I think it was. And in Estonia, it was kind of managed by UK, United Kingdom. So, and there was a French contingent. Who was there in Estonia? Talking about 2022, summer, winter time, right? And it was with the Danish, UK, Estonians, and France. And I and mine being part of the French Foreign Legion contingent attached to the French assignment. Pretty much a presence patrol, right? Flexing on the border of Europe. Quite interesting, some of those movements, like you saw in that little video there. 82 tanks, man, lined up. That's a patrol, bro. That is quite the patrol. I've never seen so many tanks in my life. Man, just on a three-day operation, man, that's about $3 million just in gas, right? Just in diesel, just with those tanks. Pretty gnarly with France leading the way, French Foreign Legion heading that out. Quite interesting because, man, interesting in the sense that I was always getting yelled at for speaking English. Hey, parlez français là-bas, they'd say to me. And I'd say, hey, I am speaking French, man. Oui, je parle français, mais mon accent, elle est très merde. It's shit, man. I would say my accent's shit. Sometimes my accent's so strong in French with that California R that people would think I'm speaking English. But that's beside the point. We'd be out there in the woods, moving around, doing some patrols and whatnot, and we'd come across some English, and they'd see the French flag and be like, hey, and I'd say, hey, bro, it's all good, man. And they'd say, what are you doing out here, bro? Hey, mate, what are you doing out here? Splotty crazy, man. Splotty mad. It's fun. Now, we were attached with the Alpine Hunters, right? The Chasseurs d'Alpine. And being part of the 27th Mountain Infantry Brigade, that was cool because we got to see kind of how the regular French military did it. That was cool. It's a different vibe, man. A different vibe than the Foreign Legion. It's a lot more relaxed. It was kind of nice peeking over the fence, working with those guys, getting a little bit of that more relaxed environment bled over into us because, man, even deployed, man, they'd still have guys for punishment rolling out in the dirt outside. You know, doing monkey rolls and shit, and they'd be sending out us on training in the middle of the week, just running in the rain, and man, it's just it's just a different ambiance. We were with the Mountain Commando group that had a couple of guys attached to us there, which was cool. The Mountain Commando group of the French military and a couple of the Foreign Legionnaires who were part of the Mountain Commando group. That was cool because they were in the same building as us. We're in like a big barracks building, like a warehouse, and that they had partitioned off for little rooms of 8 guys for our sections, right? And for our sections. So that was cool because that environment, and you got to see how those guys operated, and it was just nice to see professionalism on that level because we were just eating shit sandwiches a lot as Legionnaires. It was also cool. Estonia is cool. We didn't get much time off, but every once in a while they'd let us go off into town, and we got to go check out some of those. Man, they're all into the hot baths and in the hotels, and that was cool, man. Went out, met up with some chicks and whatnot, some Estonian girls. Man, they got beautiful women out there, bro. Just in case you don't know, they got beautiful women in Estonia. Kind of a cold people. They're not big on the light chit chat and the talk, man. They're a little rough around the edges, but that's cultural. Because you'll be kind of joking around. They'll be like, why the fuck's this guy talking to me, man? And that bleeds over from old communist shit, man. But we were out going on runs. We'd have exercises, and we'd be out in the woods for a week or two. And Foreign Legion, we're running. Right? Rain or shine, we're running. We'd be out there running, and we'd come across those old like gulags, man. Straight gulags. And so, it was hardcore kind of during that whole time, World War II. And the Estonians, man, they like Germany. Man, they were all into that stuff because, man, if you, and I was like, that's strange, why they would, and I realized, well, it was because Germany freed them from the Red Army. Germany freed Estonia and beat back Russia in Estonia. Interesting. Very interesting. I had no idea about all that. I didn't even really know where Estonia was. Probably embarrassing before I went there. Obviously, I looked it up on a map before I got there. But before, I was kind of ignorant to that country in general. Beautiful, very clean, very well designed, very well managed. A lot of respect for that country. Working with the Estonian military was great too. Solid. And the Danes. Man, I'm 6 feet, 220. For anybody that's asking, man, I see these guys in the comments saying I'm 5'3", man, what's up with that? Anyway, man, the Danes, I felt like a midget, man. Those guys are monsters, man, well-bred human beings, the Danish are, and some of the best ambiance, the best environment ambiance that I'd seen of any military ever. Seriously. Gear-wise, they were, Crye precision pants and head to toe, Gucci gear. And from leadership all the way down, respect, good-natured. They had a very, very good system of leadership and respect and just overall ambiance that it was a pleasure to work with those guys. We did a lot of demolition, a lot of blowing shit up, a lot of moving up and down on the border between Russia, outside of the Nassau and Nassar. And it was, good. It started to get, pretty cool. I was stoked to get out of there by the time we did in November because it started to get cold, man. I felt bad for those guys replacing us in. But it was there in Estonia where I really started to ratchet down my daily habits, and it was there. I was getting up in the morning early, trying to keep quiet, and I was getting reprimanded by French officers for going and getting up and working out, and I was just because I would, put my shoes on and stuff. They're like, hey, don't wake me up. But, man, I had to get up. I wanted to go work out. I needed to go do my daily process, my morning process. I needed to get right. I wanted to keep this program moving. It was too important for me. I would have risked jail. They were telling me they were going to reprimand me and put me in. Man, I didn't care. It didn't matter. I wanted to work out. It was too important for my mental health maintaining that discipline was a huge part of why that was a successful deployment for me. And was simply a time where I realized how massively important it was for my own mental health. That it wasn't an option. It needed to happen. Man, not only that, when we're out in the woods doing whatever, I was still getting up, still doing it. Getting up before everybody else, taking time to self-reflect, measuring my macros with my MREs. Man, I was writing down my macros in my notebook with my MREs. Throwing all the trash away. I was starving. Throwing all the crackers, throwing all the fucking jellies, all that shit. Pulling out the meals that dudes would throw because it was just trash, but it was the best macros. Man, make a decision. There's a million ways to do this. Million ways to get it done. A million ways. And it only takes one excuse to not do it. Man, find a way. If this is important for you, if getting right, getting chopped, getting mentally tight, getting physically sharp, if all that's important, then do it. It's as simple as that. I don't care if you travel for work. I don't care where you're at. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how many kids you have. It doesn't matter. You can do it. Take responsibility for what's going in your mouth, how you're training, how you're thinking. You do those things, your life will be exceedingly better consistently. So do it. If you need help tailoring this stuff, like I always say, you can hit me up, man. Hit me up. I got my contact information in the details, in the bio, all that. Contact me. It's what we do. We tailor it all for how your life works out. Give you options. Open up that perspective on how you actually can get this done. How you can make this work for your life. It's too important. You can either do it or not do it. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're deployed. Doesn't matter if you're at home. No matter if you're locked up. It's always a way to get this done. Be smart, man. Out here.